welcome to Focus Today. I'm your host, Perry Atkinson, and a delight for us to check in with a good friend, Jim Dornan. Jim is he's a Republican strategist. He's been in this game for a long time. He gets it, he understands it, and he's in Washington, D.C., so it's always a delight to have him for a few moments on a Friday. Jim, good to see you, buddy. How you doing?
I'm well, Perry. Welcome to occupied Washington.
Occupied Washington. Are you feeling safe?
I am, actually. I have mixed emotions about this. I think it's probably a good idea, tell the criminals that we're keeping an eye on them. Boy, I got to tell you, seeing National Guard on every corner is a little disconcerting sometimes.
I see where Bondi, just a few moments ago, Attorney General Bondi has told the chief of police to step aside a few moments ago.
Yeah, and there are court cases out the kazoo right now over things like that. And I think we'll probably see that throughout the duration of this, and then federal troops will go home, and everyone will say what a great idea it was.
Well, the numbers are staggering. They're averaging about 50 significant arrests a night, all kinds of people. Let me just ask you this, before all of this, the occupation. I got to process that, my friend. Was it really bad? I mean...
Yeah, it was getting bad. Now, I live in a neighborhood where there's some money. So, that's where criminals go, right? It's the old Willie Loman. Is it Willie Loman? Whatever the play was. There was a shooting right outside my door on Saturday night. So I don't think the mayor has done an awful job, especially because they want people to come into the city. And if you get stories like shootings on Saturday night, people aren't going to come into the city. So again, mixed emotions. I think in the long run it'll probably help, but there are going to be so many other issues that come up because of this that we're not gonna know for sure for a while.
Okay, so the president, as we speak on another issue, is in the air flying to Alaska. Putin's in the air flying there from Moscow. What's the buzz on the meeting number one?
Well, you said it in the previous segment. Trump's a great deal maker. Flat and plain and simple. This will probably lead to a second. I think that's the probable intention on this one. Zelensky has made his views very clear. I'm not giving up land, but Putin hasn't. He hasn't said what he wants other than we think he wants the land. There will be other issues, and I hope Trump represents Ukraine well, because we're the only friend they have, besides Europe. We're the only friend they have right now.
So it's said that probably won't be allowed to join the NATO, but probably will join the EU. You think that's an outcome?
I believe it probably is, and that would be a good thing for Ukraine. And because Europe has already pretty much stepped up militarily as far as weapons sending to Ukraine anyway. So they're treating NATO very much treating Ukraine very much like a NATO country. And I think that'll just kind of fortify that.
Okay. So you think there's land involved?
Yeah, I don't think Putin's going to give that up. I think that's the reason he wound up invading them to begin with, because he considers Ukraine part of the old Soviet Union and that he wants part of it. He created the country of Moldova, or rather Stalin did, to keep Eastern Europe from bleeding into Russia. And so I think that's what the point is with Ukraine as well.
Okay, a couple of other questions, and that is, as you see, the Democrats in Texas are very much in the news, leaving the state because of redistricting, reapportionment, gerrymandering, whatever name you want to put on it. This is pretty common. You've been in this game for a long time. This is pretty common. Any legislature, any party that controls the legislature in the state does this. Why are we surprised over this one?
Because I think Trump got involved. I think that if he didn't get involved and Texas did it on its own, it would be an issue, but probably less of an issue. And I was on Capitol Hill the last time I remember it happening, and I remember the Republicans were screaming bloody murder about it because they were the recipients of the bad side of this. And so, both sides are being a little hypocritical in this surprise politics. But I don't know if you saw California's map, but they devastate the Republicans' district, the House Republicans' districts in the state. And I think it more than covers the five in Texas. So I think we're in for a political battle royale from now until November 2026.
So what do you think about Newsom countering California to what's happening in Texas? We've never seen one state stick its nose in the other at this level.
Right, but I think it's exactly what he wants, because I think he wants to be president very badly, and this is the opportunity he's been handed to represent the Democrats in a positive way. Because the big row going in the Democratic Party right now is how they're not basically standing up to Trump, and Newsom is doing that, and I think it's going to help him in the long run as far as the primary is concerned.
Okay. So what's the talk about tariffs in this big city? Is it working or not working?
Boy, that's a great question. I think time will tell. But yesterday you had two numbers come out that kind of contradicted each other. You had the producer price index, which was up almost 4 points, and then you had the consumer price index, which was down. So the producer price index is the cost of companies bringing the product to the consumer, and the consumer price index is whether they're buying it or not. And so those are at odds with each other right now. I think you may see inflation start to pick up a little bit over the next few months, and then in the fall, I think we're going to know exactly what the tariffs did.
He, being the president, doesn't seem to have control over Powell, and I know they're not the best of friends these days. And he's thinking about naming Powell's replacement. I can't help but think that's an intimidation move.
It is, and Trump's got to be really careful. He fired the woman who headed up the Bureau of Labor Statistics because essentially he didn't like the numbers that came out on jobs. And if he does that with Powell as well, he really risks people not believing anything that's coming out of the government's mouth. Not that they do anyway, but especially now. And so that would not be good for our foreign allies on trade issues, because they look to us to basically keep the world's economy going. So he's just got to be very, very careful about getting past the personal part of this and keep it on a policy level.
Well, he can't fire him. I mean, he's there till May, but he can intimidate him by appointing his successor early.
Did you see the interaction between the two of them when Trump went over to the Fed? It was really, really uncomfortable.
Well, you went from 2.8 to 3.1 billion on a building remodel. I'm still trying to grab all those numbers anyway.
Well, I think Trump pointed that out to Powell, and Powell said, well, wait, that's a different building altogether. It's nothing to do with the project you're talking about. And so that's why I'm kind of chuckling now, because it was a very, very uncomfortable moment between the two of them. And we still haven't gotten the full story on whether it's the current project or an additional project they're working on over there.
So one other quick question before I ask a few more, and that is, there's another deadline budget showdown coming down around the end of September. You're not hearing much about it, but what's the feel on the ground in D.C.?
Congress is pulling the same old, same old. I mean, they've not passed one appropriations bill out of the House or the Senate. There are 12 each in each house, and it funds every aspect of the government. And I think we're going to get down to the very end, and they're going to offer a continuing resolution, which a lot of members, especially on the Republican side, resolutely refuse to support. And so with a small majority, the Republicans are either going to have to make some spending concessions, or they're going to have to get themselves together on something and pass some of these bills between now and then.
They did get the big, beautiful bill through, so doesn't that tell you that they can come up with this budget without going into continuing resolutions?
Yes. Well, yes and no. It proved they can do the vote, but with the appropriations bills, it's going to happen 12 times. If they do the continuing resolution, then obviously it's only once. But boy, I don't know. With these small majorities in either house, I think you're taking a big risk unless you deal with this directly right now. I mean, Johnson's got him out of town until after Labor Day, so that gives a very short window between the time they get back and the time that the budget deadline hits.
Over to your expertise. How's the fundraising going on the RNC side and the DNC side?
I think so far so good. There's a lot of confusion going on right now because of the tariffs, because of various issues that are coming up that aren't dealing specifically with the economy. But they're firing up. Both sides are firing up their base pretty well. I don't know if you saw it down in North Carolina. Roy Cooper, the former governor, is running for Senate because of Tillis retiring, and he raised a record $3.5 million in something like 30 days. So the money is out there, and people are still spending it on political campaigns. And I think it's going to come down to the personalities on each side. I mean, that's basically what it's been on and off for the past 6 years now. And whether Trump tries to anoint somebody or gets involved heavily in the Senate and House races in 2026, whether he anoints somebody in 2028, J.D. Vance, Don Jr., those are the names out there right now I'm hearing. But yeah, I think you're going to see a battle royale in November 2026.
Do you expect the president to do some campaigning?
I do, because he looks at it as a reflection of support and love of him, if you will. But yeah, I think you're going to see him out there. I'm surprised he's not concentrating a little bit more on his legacy, but maybe that's part of the plan because, I mean, he's a smart guy. He does a lot of the right things, and I don't question what he's doing on a day-to-day basis anymore.
Why would he be concerned about his legacy in the midterm?
Well, I mean, midterm, but he's only got 2 years after that. And I mean, if you look at W, I think was ending the war or trying to end the war. Nixon, it was the SALT treaties, with nuclear weapons. I think that it's going to start coming. He wants to be well liked, and he wants people to remember him for the right things. And frankly, I think the thing with the troops in D.C. is part of that, wanting to have a good legacy, especially if crime goes down.
That's interesting because he's certainly not acting like a lame duck.
No, he's not. And I think that's part of it. I think that he wants to still do major things in a limited amount of time that he has.
Okay, so on the D side, we see Newsom probably at the top of the list. We'll see if he can stay. He probably do well in the primaries. It's whether or not he is electable. We'll have to wait and see. Is he a Clinton? Is he a Kennedy? On the right side in 28, you have J.D. Vance, you have Marco Rubio, and you mentioned Don Jr. Anybody else out there floating around that would be of interest?
Not yet. I'm watching with a great deal of interest, and also on the Dem side, they have a great bench. Our problem is we don't have a great bench because we've got a president who's an icon unto himself. So I think that people are going to be looking for the next Donald Trump. I'm not sure he's out there on the Republican side. On the Dem side, like I said, you've got Josh Shapiro, governor of PA, and you've got a whole slew of Gretchen Whitmer, governor of Michigan, a whole slew of good candidates on the other side. The question is, can they fire up their base? I mean, we talked recently about the New York City race. I mean, is that where the Democrats are going? If so, they're finished as a political party, in my opinion.
Well, when you got Elizabeth Warren endorsing that and others speaking behind the scenes, this is our future. So Newt Gingrich said the other day that he felt that the Democrats will go down that road and their base just won't show up and vote. They won't vote for Republicans, but they're not going to vote for the nonsense.
I couldn't agree more. And it'll probably fire up the in-betweens in the Republican base to get out and vote against them, too. I mean, what he's offering up there is absolutely ridiculous. It says it's free. It's not free. We all know it's not free. Somebody's paying for it. And it's the money guys in New York. And I think
one other quick question, Jim. Thanks for your time. One other quick question. Back to the potential showdown over the government coming up on September 30th. This is also risky for the president in light of the fact that the ultra-right, the Marjorie Greens and some of the others could be a real stickler here. And if that part of the right splits away, how damaging is it?
Oh, it's devastating. I mean, we have to have every single vote in order to pass something. And that's why I believe you're going to have some kind of compromise, whether it's on defense spending or the border or whatever it happens to be, that some conservative Democrats can support and still win their races. But yeah, if the far right, the Tom Masseys, the Marjorie Taylor Greens, if they dig in, I think Trump's going to say, you know what, never mind you guys, I'll deal with the Democrats.
Yeah, interesting. Hey, good to see you, bud.
Good to see you too, Perry.
I'm glad you're sleeping safely at night.
I'll keep you posted.
And I'm sorry about, I didn't think about it being an occupation, but hang in there, buddy. You can go down and get a hot dog and not get mugged. Be happy about it.
I can bring my pet goat with me.
All right, I'm sending you a fourth place ribbon.
Perfect.
All right, see you later.